Hey yo, what's up, my beautiful people? We're back again for another session of our visual arts and design from Sunduzi Creative Arts in Daba. If you've been following us, this is the third session. We started with the PK. We had some connection issues there, so we might just consolidate that one again and do it just one more time. And then last week we were with Ubaxolele, the founder of Awesome Brands. We were talking printing and branding. So today I've got someone I consider as a big brother because, I've known this guy for almost 15 years. So today we're speaking to Sanele Cele, the founder of Temperature. I'm sure most of you guys know that brand. So we'll just be chopping it up, just finding out about his challenges, who he's worked with, and advice for up and coming designers out there, or our creatives, who just want to make something out of this industry. So we're just gonna check it out. Let's see if it's on. Once he joins us, then I'm gonna add him. So yeah, guys. So most probably this is the last session of the visual arts and design. As I said, we might just have one more session with PK, just to consolidate the session and having connection issues. So we'll see about that. But then after these sessions, most probably going to jump into music. So let me get Sanele. He's on now. Let's just add him. Okay, we waiting for him.
Oh,
Yo, bro.
yo, Maji, what's good?
I'm good, nigga. And you?
I'm nice, bro. I'm nice. I'm so sorry about the delay. Yeah, I'm putting my farm
Nah,
down.
it's cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
ngisawoqondanisa.
I know, kumele ngathi ikhathi.
Hey, intsha bemisengaka bafo. Hey.
Hayi, phela lockdown, lockdown. Umuntu
Hey,
usazoba clean.
it's
Masura
been a
mabosa step.
it's been a minute though. It's been a minute though, yeah.
Yeah, man. I was just giving an intro, ngisho ukuthi I consider you as my big bro because I've known you for almost 15 years now.
Bro.
Um,
Your family.
yeah, from back in the day, I think Osha he deals with attitude or something like that. When you were getting
Don't even mention that, G. Don't even mention that shit.
yeah, hey, but
Yo,
you lean on it.
it's crazy that actually somebody outside of my family knows that. Did you understand that? That's like shit that
Yeah,
they always make fun of me about.
yeah, dog. Because I remember ngizafika la last year and you were pushing your thing. So yeah, dog. I wanted to ukuthi usitshele nje mfethu ukuthi who is uSanele, and what is temperature about, for abantu
Yeah.
abangazi out there.
Oh well, start off by mentioning Sanele Igama Cele Sibong. Yeah, man. Pretty much. Well, I'm a clothing designer. I like to regard myself as a modern day tailor because, like, with me, I really appreciate the craft behind it more. As much as, okay, fine, I'm good with the designing aspect too, but like, I really love the craft side of it. Quality vibes, like I'm more in that. Like, I like the minor details. Yeah, that's basically
Yeah,
streetwear brand, modern day tailor. Yeah, man. That's pretty
yeah,
much the vibe.
Sunday, yeah, and really, how did you get into this creative space? Because we regard you as experts. You've been doing it for some time, and where
Yeah.
did it start? What got you into that?
For me, man, like it was pretty much a more of a
Hmm.
trip in there by chance, and then yeah, I found shit working. Like,
Hmm.
cause I'm not even gonna lie and be like, it was a situation of like I just woke up one day with this like amazing, crazy dream or whatever it is that used to happen. The one thing
Yeah.
that's really sparked everything, it was the whole thing of growing up. It was the
Hmm.
whole thing of growing
Hmm.
up. You get to a space where it's just like now you want the finer things. Your friends are getting all these brand labels. And me being a mama's boy, I lived with my mother at that time, and pretty much like the cool stuff we couldn't afford. You get what I'm trying to say? It wasn't even a sense of like affording it, but like it was just more of a sense of like, you young, what do you want with such luxurious
Hmm.
items? You get what I'm trying to say? So I just started with that, like just meddling with stuff that I had, painting on t-shirts, you know, using a hand needle, you know. And then it just got to a crafty situation. I remember there was a friend of mine, Unu, when I was growing up. His big brother was the founder of Weaver. It was like a local designer. That guy was exceptional. He's pretty much like the guy that actually like made me take the decision, because I remember I wanted stuff for my metric dance, you know. So I came up to him and I told him I wanted something special, you know, and I showed him some of my sketches that I've been doing throughout the years, you know, because I'm good with the pencil anyway. So when I showed him blues, man, like he just told me straight up, he was like, "You're amazing at this shit. Like when you get out of school, this is what you need to go and do, you know." And I guess like that resonated with me, and I chose that path, man, you know. And I come from a family of creatives. My dad is a creative. My mom was a creative, you know, even though she ended up being a policewoman. You get what I'm trying to say? She ended up being a policewoman. But like she sold clothes on the side as like a side hustle. So I used to go to factory shops, your Levi's factory shops, Nike, Reebok back in the day, and then we'll sell those shit in the hood. So yeah, that was the whole vibe, man. Yeah, so it's just like a whole vibe. And then after that, like after it wasn't even a thing. So I'd already decided, had already talked to my parents, they'd already agreed, you know? Yeah.
No, it sounds dope. It sounds dope. Yeah, and Joba, you were good with the pen. I think that my next question was going to go there. Woodsy, in terms of your creative process, when you're creating something, what's your inspiration? And maybe I can also add, Woodsy, you know, what are the tools or you use software, or it's just sketching and then it goes to machine, you know?
I'm not even going to lie to you, bro. Like with me, since the situation was more of like, I tripped and fell into it, you know. Even though I tried to go to design school, I literally stayed like 3 months there and I quit. And then I just started teaching myself everything. So like the situation of like being this guy that actually like uses and draws, like with me, hey dog, like the situation was pretty much topsy-turvy, because it was just like I'd look at the fabric and I just started working from there. I'd be lying if I told you is that I'll sit down, decide this is that. But like when I started, it was just me going to the machine, cutting up whatever, and just start freestyling. You get what I'm trying to say? And then with time, because I started learning, and I had to get to a situation where I was more professional, you know, because now you're getting to situations where you're going to SA Fashion Week, your Durban Fashion Week, your Men's Fashion Week in Cape Town. So like those people demanded things to be more professional, you know, and luckily like 2015, I got a chance to go to Italy. That was another experience of itself. You get what I'm trying to say? So that was like a whole schooling process. So now like I have to do the whole process, sketch it out, digitally design it. I use Illustrator most of the time. So yeah, like it's gotten to that point. Like it was like a diamond in the rough, and I had to ship and shape everything until now. So now I literally do it the odd way around of sitting down, conceptualizing, sitting down, doing the mood board, start drawing, do the CADs, and then yeah, man, it's that situation. But I still like that. When I'm doing something for myself, I'm working on ideas, I don't even sketch. I just look at the fabric. Like I normally just go to the fabric shop, just buy whatever that interests me. You get what I'm trying to say? And I'll take it from there. Yep.
Yeah, Shapra. And Jobu shoots you now. You were forced to become professional because obviously people are actually taking the initiative. Would you, at this point, did you work with a team of creatives? No, my God, are you still doing it alone? And you know, what's the situation there?
Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. I feel as if like the one thing that I always like I've excelled in like working with other people. Like I work very well with other people. Like I always tell people, it's just like I like bringing the fire out of people. So like as we're talking from now, I'm talking from the neighborhood that I grew up in. I've hired more than 25 people within the neighborhood by like shifting and changing, you know, shifting and changing people. And all those people, like there was not even one of them, there was a professional that I actually like said, they came out of high school, they came out of design school and came straight to me. It's always people that didn't know, didn't have the skill. I give them a skill, we take it from there, and then we move forward, you know. Like I have a girl that I've been working with for a shitload of years. Like she came to me when she was still, she was doing second year in graphic designing. And it was like a shitload of years ago. So like she worked with us until now, you know, like she's even becoming a business partner to something on the side that we're doing with her, and that worked out very well. You get what I'm trying to say? So I forever had a team, man. I'd be lying if I said like I don't have people. No. I forever had people, man. You're always gonna need people. So there's no. I know we have this whole thing of like saying I did it on my own or I did it on my. Nah, that's utter bullshit. There's always something for someone. You're always gonna get fair with more people around. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I'm up and coming creatives out there. Actually, they taking notes. Yeah, but you know, if you like-minded, most probably my intentions will always be good. You know. Yeah, and this I guess my next question, Jobaskulu Mangama collabos. I was gonna ask about your collaboration with Markham there, Gateway.
Yeah.
You know, what's the approach there? As well as maybe soon as I collaboration that you had, because I know you work with Lichana, and all of those guys. So yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like the whole thing, because like even if you look at now this whole collab situation and working with brands, it's become a thing. Like I remember in my day, even when I landed a New Balance sponsor. This is like I do not know how many years ago. What is it? 8 years, 7 years ago. Like my very first campaign, like it was on billboards all over, sports scene, everywhere. You know, like it was a pretty crazy founded collabo with Dad, like with New Balance. I just start there because like there's something that I did first, which was like a highlight for me. But it only came by chance, man. Like I was in this competition, that's the most popular bloggers competition in 2011. I was representing Durban. We came second in SA. I had a team like Bob of like Durban is yours. Now he just like does his own comedy shows and comedy. Pretty cool guy, crazy white guy. He was in my team. When we got there, like I remember like I had met another guy outside. We were smoking outside Atwan Main in Baboneng. And only to find out that this guy is actually from New Balance, and he actually started asking me about the brand, like questions, and because I was wearing those sneakers at that time, and I forever had like a crazy S bond with New Balance. Like I remember, like on those 112, the very first kicks I had were like the N80s, and those were something that was big in the hood. You understand? So I didn't know that my love for those shoes could actually like give me something that great. Because when I was talking to the guy, I started spitting like knowledge, and he was like, "Oh shit, I think I need people like you." And I was like, "Why?" You know, I'm the brand manager for New Balance, and that's how we started talking, literally. And then in 2012, like they sent me an email and they gave me a full-on sponsor, you know, which was crazy. And now looking at people and how they've put up that whole thing, because like those guys, as small of a brand I was getting free shoes and I was still getting paid. You understand? So like a whole lot of people have created that whole thing for like getting shoes only, which doesn't really make sense to you. How many shoes are gonna feed you? Because you're gonna end up having to sell those shoes. You get what I'm trying to say? So to me, like that really mattered a lot. That was the first nice collaboration. But like another one, like I did something with Malum Coolcat, like that's around about the same time. I've worked with Spook Matambo. I started a whole video, which I took by chance anyway, too. With that situation was something I threw myself in. I made a bond with those guys too, and like that first video like premiered on Complex, and Complex was pretty big. It's still big right now, you know. For me at that time, it was major, you know. And then like a few years later, it's a DFF. Like I ended up in Italy. I came back. I remember 2016. You know, I don't know. A marketing engineer for Markham. They hit me up for the event they were doing. It was like more of like a customizing situation going on within the store. They wanted to do something like that, but like it was just for a day event type thing, you know, because like they were going full like denim on relay jeans, you know. So they hit me up. They were like, "Nah, we cannot doing something like this in Durban. So how would you sort this out?" You know. I was like, "Okay, cool. Instead of like bringing my whole team, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to DUT, the fashion side of it, for a few students, and then we'll come there and we'll just have fun with it, you know." I set up the whole thing within the store in the CBD, but like we killed it so much. Like they called me up 2 years after. They were like, "Man, like, don't you have crazy ideas and how we can actually apply this into the store?" You know. So I sat down, like I started like working on Illustrator, and I just designed the whole thing. And it was supposed to be like for 2 months. It was supposed to be a pop-up, which ended up being like 3 years. You know, it ended up being like 3 years. We were doing shit in Cape Town. We ended up doing shit in 4 ways in Santin, so which was pretty cool, man. Like, so it was like a formerly organic relationship with them too, you know. So like everything has just been organic. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, because like I'm a person who
Yeah.
listens to intuitive, so my intuitive never leads me wrong. It always
No.
leads me to, yeah.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm seeing it's the passion, but it's also balanced with it's okay, it's
Hmm.
professionalism, business, and all of that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
true,
And I think it
true.
was going to lead to the next question. We would say, as a business, what sort of challenges do you face on a daily, and how do you tend to mitigate them, so
Yeah,
that you're
yeah.
able to survive?
Like with me, man, I'm not even gonna lie to you, because like I'm self-taught with everything. Like I didn't do anything with business even in school. Like I really wasn't accustomed to that. So I really think that was like my biggest hurdle with a lot of things. It was just like managing the money. You know, it's
Yeah,
always gonna be a big problem, and especially too if you are working on a brand and it's like a hand to mouth type of situation. Because with me, my skill and my talents and whatever it is that I was doing was just like fairly based on my survival. It was survival for me. You know, it wasn't a thing of like I'm sitting there. It's a passion, and I still gonna have people coming through. I get home. There's food on the stove. There's food on the table. There's that. Nah, it was like this is out for me. This is it. Like I gotta go work and I gotta go put food on the table. So I think that's the one thing that actually like really, really, really mattered with the business a lot. And I think what a lot of like I'd say black people too, it's always gonna be a situation that we faced with until we get to a place where like there is like literally a middle class, because right now like there's rich people and then there's people actually walking in the line of poverty, and then there's the poor. There's no middle class in this country. So it was just that's one of those situations, you know, like that's always one hurdle that we always or forever gonna have, because it's like a hand to mouth situation. Like even if you come from a so-called middle class situation, you're gonna get your job, but like there's a whole situation of black tax, so you really can't
exactly.
enjoy what you do. So I really think with that really meddle with the business moving forward. You get what I'm trying to say? And I think like me growing in that, like I got to a situation was like, okay, cool. How can I diversify myself? You know, like with the whole situation with Markhams, it was a side hustle. It wasn't my main hustle. Temperature was my main hustle, even though it was like a collaborative effort and temperature was that, but like temperature still the main, and that was like a side hustle. I went into transport too, did Taxify, Uber, whatever on the side, and that's a side mission also. So once you start doing
Exactly.
those things, then now you can look at your brand and then you're like, ish, yeah, ne? Life is
Mm.
okay now, because that brand now or your brand or your passion no longer has to be the situation that's feeding you, and still got to feed itself and still got to feed the people that are working for you. So like those are things that really I would say have really been like the problem for a whole lot of years, until I got to a point in time where it was like, okay, cool, I can change this now, I can shift this, you know. So yeah.
Sounds dope, bro. Joe Bush, and you see, there's so many challenges that we're facing as a
Mm,
country. Even
yeah.
now with this COVID-19 situation, a whole lot of people
Mm,
are getting laid
mm,
off. A whole lot of people are suffering some challenges.
yeah.
With you guys, what have you done with this situation? Have you guys been able to capitalize, or what's your thing around this COVID-19?
Crazy thing is, like, I was actually having this conversation in the morning, and I was talking about it and how like the first few weeks of like the lockdown were like horrible. Like the first 2 weeks were like really horrible, because you're sitting there now, you're not doing anything, even though like I have like an inside an in-house studio. I could work, but the thing is now supplies started running out within those
Mm,
2 weeks, and you couldn't even get more supplies because like shops were closed, every
mm,
factory spot were closed down, you know. And I sat down, like even that week, like I remember the third week, it was such, you even feel the depression creeping in. You even feel the depression
mm.
creeping in. I was in the house,
Hey,
you know, and until I sat down and then I started thinking about the mask situation, like, you know, and I saw with how like everybody just started jumping into it after like the
yeah,
government, it was cool. Like with me, I
yeah.
had came to it before, you know, because I needed
Mm,
something to do, but like my approach was I wasn't selling to the people individually. The one thing that I was doing, I started approaching companies. I started approaching
okay.
companies, then getting people to actually approach companies for me. So we did that whole thing prior, you know, like we literally
That's
went
dope.
through, like we probably within this time, we did like 15,000 masks, and we were moving that. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like when the country was jumping on it and President Rama, whatever, doing that and putting the mask in his eyes, we were already over it. We were pretty much over it. So I think that's what kept me afloat, man. That's what kept me afloat, Yeah. And like just working on crazy things, like I have crazy new collabs coming up, we've shifted from the fashion side, like we're going into an interior situation. I teamed up with a old friend of mine, Vidima Creations is he does interior, and the nice thing too, he comes from a background of mine, like he don't just draws or whatever, like he can actually create the stuff. So I hit him up, come to create nice stuff, and they came out so amazing, man. Like that people should watch out for. That's gonna be an amazing one. I'm actually looking at the pieces now, even though I can't show you, but like, yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
most definitely. Give us a few weeks. So, and I got like an international collab coming up too. Someone like you're gonna see that too. That's gonna be crazy. I can't really go into it because like I like things rolling out, properly than me like just spitting it out.
Yeah,
I'm watching them.
Yeah, I know, Zash. I don't want to keep you too long. I think now we're just gonna go towards wrapping it up. I think could you firstly just give some advice for up and coming creatives out there, whether they into design or web or graphic designers, you're a creative or even music, film, what advice could you give?
Bro, it's all the same. It's all the same. The one thing that I would say first and foremost, bro, like before you could do anything, just know who you are. Know who you are, know where you come from. You understand? Look at yourself in the mirror and see the skin that you are. There's a whole lot of things that have been put before us. Like I don't want to go political and I don't want to be talking about things that are really crazy. But what I'm saying is just know who you are, know where you come from, and know who your people have been. You understand? Because like a lot of people don't understand and how confidence is such a big part of who you become and who you are. And once you sit down and know yourself and know where you come from and start appreciating your culture more than anything, you understand? And with that confidence and with that knowing of self, that's when your intuition starts coming back. That's when God starts talking to you. And like a whole lot of people think God talks to you via things that you see happen in your life. Nah, dog. Your intuition warns you each and every day. It talks to you. Like, if you remember at first with the question that you asked me, I told you, it's just like I've forever been an intuitive person, and my intuitive has never led me wrong. It has never led me astray. So that's one key component. As much as there is marketing, there's business, survey people, there's business that, but like it starts with you, starts with your confident and go back to your intuitive. Your intuitive would never lead you wrong. And that's the beautiful thing about about being black people. Understand, we're spiritual and we have those things. So go back to that. That's going to be your core. And then after that, like, don't be afraid of working with people. Like, just cut out that whole shit of like, I'm going to do this by myself. I'm going to do that. It'll never work out. You understand? The only time that I started propelling forward is when I started working with people. You open up to people, like give them the space, even though you might be more maybe creative and more intellectual than them, but like them being around and the balance of having them around actually makes you a better person, because like you start learning about things that you don't even know before. Because like perspective wise, we all come from different situations. You understand? So in how I see a situation might be how you don't see it. You understand? So your perspective might give me other insight, So that's what a lot of people fail in doing. They start characterizing people and start judging them based on who they are and where they come from. But like people could give you different perspectives, So like accommodate everybody, talk to everybody, and sit down with them. And because like even me with doing this with you, like this is my first time. I'm actually gonna come out and say like this is my first time ever on live Instagram. I hate social media pretty much, but like that's what I was saying. Like I feel as if like there's things that I have to share and I want to share. So why not do that? Because like I've had people that come to me and shared a lot of things and taught me a lot with whatever it is that I'm doing. So yeah, man. Yeah. Like that's the core valuation. You can't have it all. You can't know it all. Get other people who know it and let them help you with it, and then you move forward. and never be afraid to
Yeah.
break bread. It's going to take you far.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, brother. We really appreciate that, dog. And none of it's in this Katsak, you know.
Nah,
So just to wrap it up, where can we find you? You know, where can we find your merchandise? Where can we follow
um,
you and just be updated, you know, with the
yeah,
temperature, with the sun?
most definitely. Like even last night, like I had a meeting like over FaceTime. Like I was sorting out like with this web designer. We sorting out e-commerce right now. We're just basically rebranding, reshaping everything. Like I said, there's a lot of collabos coming up. You know, even stuff with interior. I'm more on the graffiti side. Like I'm working with an international artist. Like we just worked on something crazy. We already have the samples and that's coming up. So what I can say, like you stay clued on to a temperature, go to. In a month's time, you can check out temperature.com. That's going to be the new commerce store. So everything is just going to be online. Like the no physical store, everything is just going to remain online on that. So like stay close to temperature. Temperature spelled differently, Tempracha. That's what it is. So check us out on Facebook too, everywhere, man, and even at Sanele Cele, you'll get it there.
All right, brother. Thank you so much, dog. I think we're gonna wrap it up now. So here too, yeah, we'll be in touch. And for abantu akade bengayijoyinile this live, obviously we'll save this footage and
Yeah.
we're gonna share it up on my pages there as well.
Bless, fam. All right.
All right,
Nah,
thank you
nah.
so much, brother.
Enjoy the rest of yours.
All
Easy,
right,
bro.
thank you, bro. Sure.
Right.
All right. So yeah, man. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. And as I said, if you didn't get a chance to check this out, we're definitely going to share it on my platforms there too. And yeah, just please follow us on Sunduzi Creative Arts in Daba. That's on Facebook and as well as on Instagram. So thank you so much, my peeps.